Welcome, welcome. We have two back-to-back videos to watch. This is going to be an interesting one. This is called Trooping the Color. We're going to watch the 1951 and the 1952 versions. Of course, this is Queen Elizabeth II of the British monarchy. Let's jump right in.
Representing His Majesty the King, Princess Elizabeth, Colonel
His Majesty the King. So it's Princess Elizabeth in 51.
the Grenadier Guards leaves Buckingham Palace, escorted by the Duke of Gloucester, the King's personal aide-de-camp, to take the salute at the Trooping the Colour. Ahead of her comes the Queen with...
And I don't know too much about Trooping the Color. Like, what is the significance in this? And meaning, like, is it like an annual thing? Is it like a seasonal thing? Is it a... I don't know.
Princess Margaret and Prince Charles. From windows of the Horse Guards building, they'll watch with King Haakon of Norway and Queen...
So that's the Queen Mother. I'm guessing that's Margaret, and I'm guessing that's the current king. And you can kind of see the facial structure of Charles right there, yeah, with his ears.
Queen Mary. At 11 o'clock, the cavalcade arrives at the Horse Guards parade. Riding Winston, the famous police horse, the princess wears a scarlet grenadier's tunic and the tricorn hat of a colonel of the regiment of 1743, about which time George II reorganized regimental colors. First, the princess inspects guards of the 3rd Grenadiers, whose king's color is to be trooped.
Where is this, by the way? Is this in front of Buckingham or somewhere else?
The 1st Scots Guards and the 1st and 2nd Coldstreams. In favored positions are wounded servicemen, as Princess Elizabeth takes her position for the long troop. This must be her most important official occasion. First comes the march of the massed bands.
Interesting. To get the band going. Still don't know where they were at. The synchronization is so impressive though. I'm guessing this is being broadcasted live, right? At the time.
Now the beginning of the troop, as the King's colour of the 3rd Battalion, the Grenadier Guards, is handed to the ensign.
Okay. And this thing, of course, is called Trooping the Color. So I'm guessing color meaning mainly like ensign or flag. Look at that fashion.
The escort to the colour salutes the sovereign in the person of his heiress presumptive, and the troop proper begins. It's the new King's colour, recently presented by the princess in the King's absence through illness.
Yeah, remember he's having some lung difficulties at this time. He actually, I think, has a lung removed at the end of his life. At least part of it, or maybe the whole one.
The troop over, comes the march past in column of guards.
I wonder how heavy those hats are. Yeah, I don't know where this is. It doesn't feel like it's in front of Buckingham. I can't tell. Just because it's the 50s, things might have changed. And it's very much a dirt. Uh, you know, it looks like this is all dirt, which would not make sense if it was in front of Buckingham. I don't know. Unless this is pavement. Can't tell. Looks like dirt though.
And now, perhaps the most spectacular moment, the household cavalry at the trot. The ceremony is over, and Princess Elizabeth takes her place at the head of the King's Guard for the march back to the palace. Wherever it be, here or abroad, on this day, the King's official birthday, the British Army puts
the King's official birthday, so they do this on the birthday of the monarch?
On its most intricate drill as a spectacle to please His Majesty. And there is sadness this festival year, because the King could not be there to enjoy it.
Wow. Probably like especially back then, probably a super big holiday for them. The fashion. Also crazy knowing that probably like 80% of the people we're looking at no longer are alive. Maybe higher than that. Just children.
From the palace, here's how the great procession appears to the royal family waiting.
So I don't know where they came from.
On the right is King Haakon as Prince Charles waves, a little boy who sees his mother, where others see pageantry.
Wow. And that's Mary of Tech, right? On the left. I think that's right. Don't know. Don't really know him anymore.
The princess takes her place for the final march past. With her, we have shared the birthday of the king and found that the young girl who thrilled the world when first she rode with him to the trooping has grown to regal stature, worthy of the high position which someday she will be called upon to fill.
Someday. That'll be close. All right, guys, let's go watch the other one now. All right, 1952. Trooping the color.
For the first time in nearly 350 years, a queen rides out to take part in an official ceremony.
All right, so I wonder, so this was literally a year later. Maybe, right? So I think I got my question answered over the last, couple of minutes, but I'm guessing this happens on the monarch's birthday. So it might be a different part of the year if this is the queen's birthday. So obviously, last time she was in the place of George VI, and now she is the monarch. He obviously died in 1952.
Escorted by her uncle, the Duke of Gloucester, Queen Elizabeth II goes to receive the tribute of her brigade of guards.
I bet you there was even more people out there now.
Ahead goes the Queen Mother and the Queen's sister, Princess Margaret, for this official celebration of the Queen's birthday.
That's right, Queen's birthday. So you got Margaret and Queen Mother. No Charles this time in this carriage.
Now the Queen arrives on the Horse Guards parade. Her Majesty's birthday is in April, but by royal custom, the official birthday is placed in June to continue the tradition established by the Queen's grandfather, King George V.
Interesting. So it's not really her birthday, it's the birthday of... That's kind of interesting. Okay. All right.
After the royal salute,
I guess June's like probably the most pragmatic time of the year to do something official.
During which guns fire 1 round for each year of the sovereign's life. Her Majesty inspects the parade,
Took
which
27
this year consists of 5
or
guards
4 or
instead
5.
of the usual
Can't
8.
remember. 6.
The Queen wears a diamond badge of the Scots Guards in her tricorn hat. It's the 2nd Battalion whose colour is to be trooped. Inspection over, the Queen guides her charger Winston to the saluting base for the troop. As the Sovereign, the Queen is Colonel-in-Chief of all the Guards, and today wears the Scots Guards uniform. First, the massed bands march and countermarch.
Obviously, we just saw this, but we're saying it again. Same hats, same synchronization. Same place, I don't know where we're at. It's like sandy dirt still. Maybe some pave.
Now it is time for the troop. The Regimental Sergeant Major hands the King's colour of the 2nd Battalion, the Scots Guards, to an ensign who is to carry it during the troop.
All right. I just noticed they have like a little pocket to put it in.
Perhaps the most elaborate ceremonial of the British Army, trooping the colour is a symbolic ceremony to impress on all members of a regiment the honour of the regiment and its duty to the sovereign and so to its country.
What kind of weapons are those, by the way? I'm kind of like, what gun specifically is that? Is it just a ceremonial gun, like a ceremonial rifle?
The troop over, Her Majesty receives the final tribute of her guards as they march past in column of companies.
Does each of them have a bagpipe, or they're kind of like off the side? This is probably like the Super Bowl for some of these guards. I can imagine. A lot of honor in this, I would say.
Following the 5 regiments of foot guards comes the household cavalry, a splendid sight in the magnificence of their array.
Really nice.
The ceremony over, the Queen leads her guards off the parade ground. More than 300 years ago, the first Queen Elizabeth rode out on her white charger amongst her men at Tilbury to spur them on to attack and repel the greatest threat her country had known to that date. Today, under our 2nd Elizabeth...
Wait, what was that? Hold on. Something...
rode out on her white charger amongst her men at Tilbury to spur them on...
Tilbury? This really happened? Hold on. It's interesting. I haven't heard this before. I'm loading my GPT. Queen Elizabeth Tilbury. Some English history I might not know. In 1588, England feared invasion by the Spanish Armada, okay, sent by King Philip of Spain. English troops gathered at Tilbury in Essex, near the Thames, to defend the country if Spain invaded. Queen Elizabeth I personally rode to the camp to rally the soldiers. Her speech there became one of the most famous moments in English history. The most famous line from that speech was, "I know I have the body of a weak, feeble woman, but I have the heart and a stomach of a king." She told the soldiers she was willing to fight and die alongside them to defend England. The speech boosted morale and symbolized England's resistance to Spain. Interesting. Didn't know that. So, awesome.
To attack and repel the greatest threat her country had known to that date. Today, under our second Elizabeth, the country faces difficulties just as great, if less spectacular. And to our young queen, we bring the same resolution.
Maybe not as dire
Which saved
as the
us
Spanish
from
Armada.
the earlier threat.
This is about 10 years or 7 years after World War II.
Past the Victoria Memorial, the Queen leads her procession as the Queen Mother, the Princess Royal, the Duchess of Gloucester, and the Queen's sister watch. Now the Queen takes the last salute that ends a day of glory and colour. In the days of the late King's illness, Her Majesty acted for him. Today it has been a ceremony in her own honour, a tribute from her own bodyguard.
Really cool.
The ceremony is over. The Queen salutes her family and rides in to join them on the palace balcony. And then, in a wild surge of enthusiasm, the crowd presses forward. Now with the royal party is the Duke of Edinburgh. Never has a ruler begun a reign with so much goodwill. Under Queen Elizabeth II, Britain looks forward to an early recovery from her present ills.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? Watching something, say if 80 years ago, 70 years ago, in such great, I know it's black and white, but such great quality. Love it. Love watching some interesting, things like this. Send me more stuff like this. It's interesting. It doesn't just have to be about Britain. It could be about really any place, especially old stuff like this. This is really fun to watch. Also understanding customs and things just like this. Really interesting. Let me know if you ever been to a trooping of the color, or trooping the color, sorry. Until next time, peace out and bye-bye.